everyone, I'm Gemma from Concrete Gems Crochet. Last time I was here, I think, I made a massive oak leaf blanket. Now I'm back with a teeny tiny oak leaf and a matching acorn, and they are earrings and they're super cute. They are very intricate and delicate, so you will have to take your time massively with it, but I think you'll agree that they are worth it. So I used embroidery thread or embroidery floss for these earrings. I actually have a tin that I inherited from my granny, which is literally full of all sorts of embroidery floss, and that's what I use for this. But if you don't have any, you can buy some. I've linked in the pattern and in the description below Etsy, Hirschner's and Lovecrafts, where you can buy it from. So that is quite easy. You'll also need a super teeny tiny crochet hook. So I used a 0.6mm and I actually used 3 strands of embroidery floss. So split it in half before you start, and a 0.6mm hook. That is if you want your earrings the same size as mine. So they are, the leaf is just shy of 2 inches long and the acorn is about 1 inch long from the crocheted part of it. But equally you can make them a little bit longer. I made this one, still using 3 strands, but I made that with what did I make that with? I think that was with a 2mm crochet hook, so a lot bigger hook but the same amount of floss, and you can see that it's a little bit bigger, maybe almost 1 inch longer, but if you like really big earrings then go for it. So I'm going to show you today how to make them, both the leaf and the acorn, but I'm not going to show you with the embroidery floss because, as you can see, it won't even focus. The stitches are so tiny that you just won't be able to see it at all when I'm showing you on the video. So I'm going to use Scapious Katona instead, and I've got 3 colours which are similar to the oak leaf and the acorn colours that I used before. So yeah, let's get started, shall we? You'll obviously also need scissors and darning needle to weave in your ends, and your earring hooks, of course. I got mine from Etsy. You can get them from there or wherever you like, really. So we will begin by making the acorn. So I'm going to start, I've got these 2 colours for the acorn, the light brown and the dark brown, and I'm going to start with the light brown, making the bottom part. And we start with a magic ring, okay? So let's get started. The yarn's running away from me. The yarn is running away. Okay, so magic ring. Oh, I saw a really complicated way of doing a magic ring recently, but this is much easier. So make a cross, insert your hook into the loop, grab the yarn, and that's it. Tighten it up and then chain 1 and we're there. Okay, and we're going to work 4 single crochets into the magic ring. So insert your hook into the ring, grab the yarn and pull it back through, then yarn over and pull through 2, and that is 4. Okay, you see how I've got my finger inside the ring? It just helps to keep it all secure. We're then going to pull the end of the ring to close it off. And we're going to work in continuous spirals for this starting section, okay? So, as you can see, this is still super tiny, but not as tiny as it is with the thread. Honestly, working with small, thin yarn and a tiny hook, you will definitely need to take your time, and there will be times when you'll have to undo a little bit to find where you got to, but it's quite rewarding as well. You'll need good light as well though, so make sure you've got working in the daytime or got a good light system going on. Right, so that's round 1, 4 single crochets into the magic ring. So for round 2, we are going to single crochet into that first stitch, go straight into it, no joining or anything. 1 single crochet, then in the next stitch we're going to work 2 single crochets. The next stitch is 1 and the last stitch is 2, and that has increased our round to 6 stitches. Just going to give that a wiggle to push that through. So we want that end on the inside. You can weave that in whenever you are ready as well. Okay, so that was round 2 complete. Moving on to round 3, we're going to do 2 single crochets into each stitch around, okay? So literally just pop in 2 single crochets into each stitch. And work that all the way around. So there we have round 3 completed. So we move on to round 4, and for round 4 we are just going to put 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm just going to talk to you about other options. So if you didn't want to make super teeny tiny earrings with a really fine thread, you can use your acorn as a autumnal harvest display, a Thanksgiving decor. You could hang it on a garland, you could put it on a wreath. Super lots of really good options there that would look really great. One piece of advice is to use stitch markers, because I've forgotten how many stitches I've done now. I think that is it. Yeah, because that's 2 in that one and that's only 1 in that one. So that was 12 all the way around for round 4. Moving on to round 5, we're going to increase to 18 stitches. Okay, so to do that, you do a single crochet in the first stitch, then you do 2 single crochets in the next stitch, then a single crochet in the next stitch, and 2 single crochets in the next stitch. Okay, so just carry on that all the way around now. That's the end of round 5. We're now going to work rounds 6 to 9, and we're going to work a single crochet into each stitch all the way around. Okay, so 18 stitches around for rounds 6, 7, 8 and 9, and I will see you when you have done all of those rounds. Okay, so I have finished that round 9 now, and we're going to fasten off our light colour here. Okay, so I've just cut that off, and I'm just going to slip stitch into the next stitch, but you don't actually need to do that at all, just to fasten it off. Okay, so that is the light part of our acorn now, and we can move on to doing the dark brown colour, which I've got here. I can squeeze it in the space. Too many things on my table. So we're going to join our dark brown into the front loop of any stitch. Now you can go into the first stitch, but it doesn't actually matter at all. Just make sure that you are working into each stitch and not working into that slip stitch that we joined there. Okay, so we just join it in like that and chain 1 to secure it. And we're going to be working in turned rounds now that are joined. Okay, so we're going to work a single crochet into the front loop of each stitch all the way around. So that front loop is the loop nearest you, so rather than going under both, you're just going to go under that front one and then do a normal single crochet. Okay, and this is the start of our shell of our acorn. You can see this acorn is obviously a lot bigger than the mini earring ones. That is literally so that you guys can see what you're doing, what I'm doing. Oops. Okay, and as I said, we're working in joined turned rounds now instead of in a spiral, and that is because we want the bobbles to be on the outside, so we need to turn at the end of this round to do our bobbly shell. Incidentally, have you seen my giant acorn? I'll just show you. There he is. Look at him compared to the mini one. I love my giant acorn. I will do a pattern on that one as well soon. So many patterns to do. Not enough time. Okay. So that is my last one into there. And it's probably just worth double checking that you've got 18 single crochets all the way around. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Perfect. So as I said, we are going to join. So we're going to slip stitch into that first stitch through both loops now to join that together, and then we are going to turn. Now you need to keep an eye on which is your first stitch here, because it can be a bit tricky. So this is our slip stitch, and then this is our first stitch that we're going to work into. Okay, so we're going to work a single crochet into that stitch through both loops, and then we're going to work a bobble into the next stitch. Okay, so we yarn over. It's a 6 double crochet bobble, but actually when you're working the tiny ones, if you can only make 5 fit in there, 5 is fine, or 4 is fine, whatever you need. Okay, so we yarn over, insert into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the same stitch again, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Let's move that end out the way so you can see what you're doing. Yarn over, insert into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We've got 4 loops, we want 7, so we keep going. Just remembering to pull through 2 each time when you come back up. Not that many though. So that should be 6. One more. So it's fiddly to get that last one in there, I think. There we go, we've got 7 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 7. Okay, and then we just single crochet in the next stitch. And we repeat that all the way around, alternating single crochet and bobbles. And if I just turn it over, you'll see how bobbly that bobble is once you've done it. And that's because of doing 6 double crochets, okay? So I'll just show you another bobble. You are literally yarn over, insert into the hook, stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and you just keep repeating that until you've got 7 stitches on 7 loops on your hook. And once you have 7 loops on your hook, you can then yarn over and pull through all 7. What's that? 6. One more. It's always the trickiest one to get in. And pull through only 2. And then yarn over and pull through all of them, and then we single crochet. So just repeat that all the way around. Your last stitch will be a bobble, and then you're going to slip stitch to your first stitch to join at the end of that round. So I've gone all the way around now, as you can see there, and I just need to slip stitch to my first single crochet to join. So that is that stitch there. Okay, like that, and then we're going to turn, and we're going to be working now back in the round, back into our stitches, okay, and we're going to be closing up. But before we close up, we want to stuff our acorn. I kept wanting to call it a pumpkin then, and you can use toy stuffing obviously, but it is actually only a really small thing. So I've just got some leftover yarn ends. I keep all my yarn ends and I use them for stuffing. So I've got too much there. You don't need very much, just shove it in and you honestly won't see it. That's a bit of string, that was a bit tough, that one. the tricky bit is hiding them in there and making sure they don't poke out when you're crocheting the rest of it. Okay, so I think that's enough for now. You can always add a bit more as you do the last 2 rounds as well. I've got a hair there, I don't really want that. What pain. Right, there we go. So stick my hook back in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to round 13. Not round 13, round 12. So we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to do a single crochet 2 together. Now you need to watch out here because the single crochet stitches now look really tiny compared with the bobble stitches in between, so make sure you don't miss them and do your single crochet 2 together over them. And we're just going to alternate single crochet with single crochet 2 together. So to do a single crochet 2 together, you insert into the stitch, whoops, if I can manage that, yarn over and pull through, then straight away insert into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, then yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, and then the next one's a single crochet, the next one is a 2 together, and you just repeat that all the way around. And when you get to the end, you should have 12 stitches left going around. Okay, whoops, sorry. Okay, I don't know how many I've done. We'll keep going. So that just into that loop there with a single crochet, then in there and in there with a 2 together. What have we got? We can count them: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then we've got a single crochet, 11, and a 2 together, 12. Okay, so that is round 12. And then round 13, we're just going to do single crochet 2 togethers all the way around. Okay, so we need to just go into every single stitch. So just should be a bit easier now, the stitches are more even from the last round, but this top bit is always a bit fiddly to close up, more so when you're really working really tiny. But I mean, if I can do it, you can do it, right? It's just a case of taking your time and taking it slow, because it's definitely worth it. Those earrings are super cute. They'd make a brilliant gift for someone. Right, have we done 6? 2, 4, 5, no, one more. Right, there we go. That is our acorn fastened off. And then we just need to add a little stalky walkie. Chain 5. Like so. Then we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And then we're going to slip stitch in the other 3 chains. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to slip stitch into the first stitch of round 13, and actually it doesn't really matter where you slip stitch into in that case, just to join it on there. And that is it. We're going to fasten off now, and we're going to weave our ends around this opening just to close up the hole. So cut it off and grab your needle. Like so. I hope you can't hear the builders making a racket again. Apologies if you can. Not even our builders. So nothing I can do about it. Right, what have we got here? A bit of fluff. Get rid of that. So you're just going to weave in and out of these stitches, okay? And that will just close up that hole like that. And then you can just weave your end through, backwards and forwards a little bit, just to make sure it's super secure. Obviously, at this point, if you're making the earrings, you want to use this yarn end to join on your earring hook. So don't forget to do that. Just wrap it around a couple of times and sew it tight. And then once you've done that and you've gone through and woven in and out a bit, just poke it in, poke the needle in so it comes out somewhere down the bottom. Grab your scissors and chop that off close, and then you can just wiggle it so it goes back inside. And there is your acorn. Super cute, right? Even cuter. Okay, so that's lovely. Shall we make the leaf now? To make the leaf, you'll obviously need some green, or why not try with some autumn colours? A colour changing yarn could be very nice. I'm just using a light green, and I am putting a slip knot on my hook. Okay, so to start this, we're going to chain 16. Five, 6, 7, 8. Oh dear. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. Obviously, if you are doing the very tiny leaf, your chain will be much smaller and tighter and all of that. But for the purposes of this video, this is what you can see. Okay, so we're going to start in the second chain from the hook with 4 single, well, starting there we make 4 single crochet, so 1 in each chain, but so 1 in the second chain from the hook, 2, 3, a bit fiddly to start with, 4, so that's 4 single crochets. We're then going to do 4 half double crochets. 1, so half double, you yarn over, insert into the chain, yarn over and pull through a loop, then yarn over and pull through all of the loops on the hook. Three and 4. Next we're going to do 4 double crochets. So we yarn over, insert into the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we do that in each of the next 4 chains. 3 and 4. Yarn's all tangled up. Okay, so you should have 3 chains left at this point. Then we're going to do 2 trebles. So yarn over twice, insert into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, whoops, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, show you again. Yarn over twice, insert into the chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, then we've got 1 chain left. In this last chain we're going to work 8 trebles. Okay, so they almost go around the top of the stitch. 8. Okay, so if you just go ahead and do that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to work back down the other side of this chain to create the center of the other side of the leaf. How many have we done now? Not enough. I know that for a fact. Two, four, five, six, seven, and if you really prefer working with chunky yarn, go and check out my big oak leaf blanket pattern. It's made with super chunky yarn, and it's really quick to make, and it just used basic stitches, and yeah, it's a good one. Right, is that 8? 2, 4, 2, 4, 6. Have I done 9 now? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not 9. Right, so we're working back down the other side now, and this hole will close itself up, but we're repeating what we did already. So we're going to do a treble in the first 2 stitches. Then we're going to do 4 double crochets, just working in those spaces. So this is where I'm working, in there, in that hole. Okay. 3, is that 3 or 4? Not very good at counting today, apparently. 4. Okay, and then we've got 4 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, whoops, and 4 in that bottom. Okay, so that is our basic beginning to be the leaf shape, and then we're going to slip stitch into that first stitch to join. Okay, okay, so we're now going to make the stalk. So we chain 5, like so. Then we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then we're going to do 3 slip stitches, so in each of the next 3 chains. Okay, so that is our stalk created there. Then we're going to move on to round 2. We're going to slip stitch in the first stitch of the leaf. So that's back where we slip stitched at the end of round 1. Okay, then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. Half double crochet in the next stitch. Double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so we're creating the leaf shape here. Then we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to slip stitch in the same stitch as the double crochet. Okay, so in there. Okay, next we're going to slip stitch in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, then half double crochet and a double crochet in the next stitch. Trying to do it smoothly, but I seem to be wobbling it about lots today. Okay, next we're going to do 2 trebles into the next stitch, so both of them in the same stitch. That's treble crochet stitches. I think I didn't say that I'm working in US crochet terms, but by now it's a bit late, so I think you get that. Okay, so that's my 2 trebles. Then we're going to chain 4 and then we're going to slip stitch into the same stitch as the 2 trebles. Okay, next we're going to slip stitch in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. Then we're going to do 3 trebles in the next stitch, all in the same stitch. So remember, yarn over twice, insert in, and then you pull through 3 afterwards. Okay, then we're going to chain 4 and slip stitch in the same stitch as those 3 trebles. Then we're going to slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2. Okay, single crochet in the next stitch, and by that point you should be at the top of your leaf. Okay, so then you are going to do 2 half double crochets and a double crochet, so all in the same stitch. Okay, 2 half doubles and then a double, and that is the top of our leaf there. Then we're going to start working down the other side, and it's going to mirror what we've just done. So we do double crochet and 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, like that. Then we do slip stitch in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. Like that. Then we chain 4. Then we do 3 trebles in the same stitch as that chain 4 and the previous slip stitch. Like that. Then we double crochet in the next stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, then slip stitch in the next 2 stitches. Okay, then we chain 4, treble crochet in that same stitch as that slip stitch and chain 4. We want 2 treble crochets. Okay, need a bit more yarn untangling. Then we're going to double crochet in the next stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, 1 and then 2. Then we're going to chain 3, double crochet in the same stitch as that slip stitch and that chain 3, like that, half double crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, slip stitch in the next stitch, and then slip stitch into the base of the leaf stalk to finish off. And there you have it. That is your oak leaf. Wow, it looks so much bigger than the one made with embroidery floss, right? So all you need to do now is fasten off your ends. If you are putting an earring back on, not with this yarn, that would be a massive earring. Look, it's like half the size of my hand. Then you join it on with your yarn end there. Otherwise, I think you'll agree that these are really cute little decorations, whether you make them as decorations or a garland with the bigger ones, or earrings with the smaller ones. Either way, they are super cute, super delicate, really seasonal and autumnal, and really, really cute. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope to see you again soon for another tutorial from Concrete Gems Crochet. Bye for now.